Greetings, this is F.R.I.D.A. Still with my technical difficulties, apparently. And I welcome you to my recap a of four-sided dives, a very special six-sided dive. The uh uh the 14th episode of Four-Sided Dive. Mm-hmm. That's mm. For today we ha- have the lore keeper Danny Carr, Utkarsh and oh god, I'm gonna butcher this. And and Burkhard and Buck. Oh, there's no R there. And Budcard. Emily Axford, Amelia Amelia Carmel, Taliesin Jaffe, Liam O'Brien, and Marisha Ray. And one very precarious tower of inquiry. After all, it is determined that Taliesin should be the tavern keeper of the day. And starts going through talk about what they expect from this episode, which is supposed to be done by Taliesin. But we end up going to Danny in some sort of internal monologue. We won't discuss the betrayal and death of uh, of uh, Bordor. Speculating what potential hijinks Prism Frida Adair will get well at the Starlight Conservatory, not Express Conservatory. And stuff. She's one. So this going on, we quickly go back to Taliesin, who originally was told to do something with a balloon ammo while explaining the episode. Now seems to be whacking a shield with a broom, both in each hand, one in each hand. Mm-hmm. And then we go back to the internal monologue about the Bell's House is back. Yes. Uh, they're talking about the teleport spell and whether or not they're ready, they can what are their chances of stopping the Ludinists. uh, there's some sort of talk about hearing our own show at all a day again and like getting an I forget the actor. I meant to record this video immediately after watching, but it was late at night, and I forgot the key. I have to pause more often while watching the original because of how much content they add. Like I write twice as much stuff down for this, and I tried using shorthand for my notes. and it ends up, and we leave it, and we go back to Taliesin, who's doing some sort of interpretive dance as part of his explanation. And Danny said, "Oh wait," and Danny's a turn "Oh wait, Taliesin's almost done. Gotta go back there." And we hear the end of Taliesin's explanation saying that at the end of the night, in honor of of some of the stuff that's been going down recently in campaign, they'll be playing One Night Werewolf. We head into the intro scene, and then we sit there, and there is one long four-person couch now to accommodate the increased cast. Um, okay, let's see. And they go into their first segment. What the frick is up with that? Uh, they start talking about the big thing, Border's betrayal, with Utkarsh shouting at Marsha, "Murderer!" at her, and she's shouting back, "Traitor!" Okay. They start talking about, for some reason, what them joining the a criminal, not the guest, the main cast. I think there's just much, as they say in the show, shits and giggles. What I choose to censor and choose not to censor is very weird. Okay, now then we get into guests, like what it's like coming to see our Utkarsha was already a big fan and wanted to do so. Was already a big fan and stuff. Amia was already played Opal on EXU, so mhm. And everyone was really enjoying watching Emily play because she's a new player and stuff, but she's I think they said she has a new player, but she has such a vast knowledge and knows how to use her spells interestingly. And apparently, the Kita is just going over her spells and trying to think what would they do and use this spell for in an action movie like. Um, to talk about how Liam fell in love with Wizards last campaign. It's Emily's favorite D class, but she doesn't get to play that much. So, oh, and then she told she wanted to study spells because she wanted to make sure at least the main cast got alive. Like she don't want to be the guest who came on and got a main character kill, brought up memories of the one time that actually happened. So though they admit it was not the. Uh, they talk about Ashley Birch. They talk about when Ashley Birch came and played as Keg. Came into like first time she's there, she helped them go after try to rescue Jester and Ford from the 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 Iron Angels. However, in that first battle, which she kind of did a technical retreat at one point and stuff. And in that fight is when we lost Molly Mock. And now Townsend agrees though that it wasn't her fault. Like he ended up killing himself because forgot about the cost of using one of his abilities, like like a blood curse and stuff. Like amplifying it, you have to take a when your blood dies of in damage, and he was that actually and his actually put him out of the fight, which right, it knocked him out cold in front of Lorenzo, who I think his name was Lorenzo, who then immediately butchered him. Interesting enough, though, he used the cost stuff, but the cost is for only for you for that cost is specifically for amplification of the blood curse. He said he was using his blood curse. He never actually mentioned if he was using the amplified version. Since he took the damage, we can assume he did, but I always wondered if he was just using regular and forgot that you're only supposed to do if Taliesin it actually only meant to use a was only using the regular blood curse and forgot that you the blood payment as we could call it only is for the extended and by sheer accident of rules and stuff misreading rules and stuff he ended up getting Molly Muck killed. Um, they never forgot the day when they lost. Well, one thing that they already had since one of the reasons for having the meta reasons for this arc was so to explain away Travis's and Laura's absence because Laura's pregnant, and that very earlier that day is when there's she actually had their son Ronan. That meant it. Like he came into the world shortly before Molly Muck left campaign. The dichotomy of life, or whatever. I think that's the correct term. Let's see. And then on talking more Death though, they talk about how they've had guest characters die before, but off screen, usually for some members, like the player did not want if they did not want to play that character or wasn't planning to play that character again and stuff. That or something happened in real life, and they basically they're killing the cat. They kill the character off screen to burn the bridge, saying, "Okay, I'm not sure we can't invite you back." Hell, that's what basically happened to Orion or, or what was his name? Guy did that to Tiberius, basically. A main cast member. Mm-hmm. Bodo was the first guest character to die on screen. They talk about like, and they keep on bringing this up that later. There was that one thing where Law emerged as Lada, like right before delivering the final blow. looked just looked over to Liam as Orm, and Orm's basically performs response, and Orm just gives all in all like do it. Like he's a nice guy, but he also does this as the enemy, specifically the enemy that killed people he loved. Uh, they mentioned how Prism's 1 point of damage ended up costing him 2 death saves. Deal with it. Basically, he gave Arn gave Lon a little last push to finish it. Though they technically didn't have to, could have healed and gone for information, but um, as described later, for Liam, he felt like Orm would do that because he knows they're at war, and as a Ruby Vanguard, he could possibly come back and hurt them later if they let him go. Like he doesn't want them just to let him go just to rejoin. I always. I'll get to that a little bit later. Uh, they sort of asked uh, they talk about how it wasn't how what was it like for him to come in as a character who's going to turn on them. But basically, playing an enemy PC is kind of it was nerve wracking for both the character and the player because they knew at any point that he could do something branded. As they point out, there were subtle hints. They came to the point of realizing there were subtle hints to this throughout, which they all just brushed off. Apparently, his plan was always to betray them, though it would have been more or less second thing, like he's either gonna run and stuff. If they had prepared to teleport and stuff, he would not gonna run. But right before they would teleport, he would have done his vitriolic sphere. Like apparently, he loves that spell. Like not only does is it a area effect a splash damage with acid, but also has a secondary damage afterward. And he was always planning on attacking them when their guard was down. It's expected to be a little lower down and then on the way out. Uh, they talk about how Matt helped Utkarsh, Utkarsh in Billy's character. Basically, he came with him the idea, and Matt just liked it. I think it was that. I think it was maybe it was the other way around, but oh, and here's the one part that blew my mind. Even after the betrayal, I thought he's kind of confused. He saw him take out his friends, and he was already in a bad place. Like these people basically took him in and stuff. I always thought, considering even after the betrayal, Bordor was like a character who wasn't quite understanding all that what the Ruby Vanguardism was up to. He was just they gave him a home and stuff, understanding, and they have like minded view on the gods. Like it was a place where he belonged, and he doesn't know quite what up to. Then we apparently told him that apparently the clothes he was currently wearing, like the reason why he was wearing his Ruby Vanguard gear was was because he killed the actual shepherd and stole his stuff. And I was like, oh my god! There goes my preconceptions, like of him just being like not fully no. He's coming. He legitimately doesn't care about didn't care about some of the collateral damage. Like he took out like it's one like you kill back on the side. Your friends are on the opposite side. Stuff. You just killed. Apparently, we just found out. Oh, yeah, you killed the clothes you were wearing from a innocent farmer you killed because just because he's there and you needed it. So, and he was not part of either side. You bastard! You you hypocrite! My mind, that little bit of knowledge blew my mind so high. Hey, like you asked my mind, and where my mind is with that, and I would respond like Jeff Dunn. It's over there, and up there. That blown. Uh, Apparently, when they first did the scry, it was I forget. I'm guessing it's probably the second one, maybe not the first. It could have been the first one, but at least one of those scries was was when they uh, okay, it was the probably the actually the first one, the more nicer place because because when they use the scry, they use like private clone stuff. So the reason why he didn't recognize the place was because it was his victim's house. He killed them in a field. So they mentioned how Border could have become a good guy when Aberdeen spared a soldier, but Utkarsh really wanted to use vitriolic sphere. Like, I see this song like it's an interesting small use of, but really? Not much. He was like texting like every day, like, "Is it time? Do you get the green light?" No response goes, and his response was, "That's up to you." this this is one of those episodes that really makes me wish that I was still doing reactions, like the clothes, like the clothes he was wearing were from someone he just murdered, like. Oh, there were other things. They talked about like you feeling, yeah, like you were actually feeling guilty while killing the angel. Oh, he also mentioned how we already know that his whole thing was acting stuff, including like him just submitting to his fans. So like, at least maybe not, Bodard actually was submitting to his fans. But the Grisham, like he just maybe because he's just good. He didn't actually think they pulled the trigger on him for the double. Actually finish off like. Oh, well, yeah, they were like the self foreshadowings. Oh yeah, they mentioned like one of them. I think it was Marisha. Marisha said she first got a little suspicious of Mordor during when he smoked from the pipe uh, of remembrance or something. And she thought, okay, we're going to see this heavy duty noble like and taking care of his sick brother, like playing close stuff. Uh-huh. Nope. It's a thing of them practicing, helping them practice magic. And also, it's like when I thought back to that, I was realizing, oh wait, it was figuring. Especially I realized the reason why he was showing him that thing was not because it was like him actually getting good with magic and stuff. He already had skill with magic. We don't know that. It's that was the point. Like they're actually helping him get stronger. That was the point that he gained their trust and would be better able to turn on them. He was proud of the fact he was able to pull the wool eyes. That was why. My mind over. I think some of it landed way over there. Look. Oh wait! I have a.
At all. But now I'm in, and I can bring him you guys who killed everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that vitriolic sphere was going down. And I had a poison dagger. I wish I could have stabbed someone in the neck with that.
So that pipe moment was actually the moment that started tipping me off.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because my head, I was like, oh, he's going to smoke this pipe, and it's going to show Borodor being a hero and having this kind, heroic moment by leaning over his sick brother's body, patting a cool, damp cloth on his head as he's doing this honorable thing of taking care of his sick brother. And then you were like, oh no, it's this moment. And I was like,
yeah. I was like,
weird. I don't know. Something about it. I was like, okay, I don't know. Maybe.
It worked on you.
It did.
Well,
I died.
There's so much more
killed.
there's so much to unpack. But I also am so curious about Denise and Prism.
So, yeah, God, yeah. So, what was the notion? Oh, let's start with Amy.
Okay.
Yeah. what was the notion? I know that this was a character that kind of, sort of existed before.
Yeah. So when I was first like approached about Critical Role in 2019, I guess. I built a character with Matt. Like we did it on a character sheet at like a diner in Burbank, and she actually looked really different. Obviously, there was no Dariax. It was like a very different. I think she was like a halfling bard at the time, and then I tried her out for EXU, and then I just felt better doing Opal, so we did Opal. And then when we did Narrative Telephone, I just was thinking about something that would be complicated. Like I wanted to tell like a very like complicated story and add an accent on top, and then have the reveal be like that she is Dariax's ex. And so it came from that. And
Well, anyway, Alright, yeah. William says it was great. He, they had great moments with Boda, who seems like just like a guy, like everyday person who shit. Apparently, there's many other pitches for like making Denise's before getting selling on Denise and stuff. They talk about that. I don't know. Actually, I have actually seen narrative telephone before, so anytime they reference something like that, I'm like clueless. From what I could gather, like the character was on narrative telephone, and at one point they went to a festival in what used to be Vex and Max's hometown. They talk. Okay, they then start talking about like the uh, Amia's actually Amy's previous character Opal. How she wanted someone new to the world, like not quite a world where you, and not really like the hardships of the world stuff. For me, she wanted the character who was like the opposite, like this person's already lives like they're like what we consider middle age. And it's just tired. You know. Oh, then they talk about why Denise was a multi-class. She just want a tough thief, like so, with barbarian rogue, like sneaky yet durable. Also, I don't think she wanted to get too complicated with spells and stuff. Hmm? Open the spells that it's a lot to keep track of, so you don't want to character similar to play. Apparently, Denise almost became part of campaign 2, but wasn't because the pandemic happened right before. I mean, come on, because she was supposed to be a guest character on campaign 2, but COVID restrictions prevented her from ever joining. Liam doesn't remember his narrative telephone. So when Denise name dropped, and he went, "What?" I think they're talking about when she named dropped Dayax and stuff. I myself have never seen narrative telephone, but okay. If I do, I probably won't do any recaps because uh, reasons. Oh, they talk about all the different characters that Emily was pitching to Matt. Like originally, she was going to play characters that have some similarities to play a character who was shunted during her wedding. Like I'm not by the group. I mean, she was at the altar and stuff like that. So and got teleported. And then was teleported from there, and when Kate would arrive in a wedding dress, which would have been freaking hysterical. Tragic but hysterical. It decided not to go with there because of the tone. And so Emily decided to go for a fashion to look at the current who would be in this party now and what would complement or specifically what would the characters need. Mm-hmm. And notice that one of the big things they would need was information. So as well as the cast, and decided to go with more something who could serve as a plot hound, as they say. Originally, Prism was supposed to be more of an Arthur Dent character, from Hitchhiker Guys Galaxy. You guys might know, I do not. I specifically avoided that movie, but and like several other things. But then she decided to change the way how she would play play it after the first fight, and she actually doing real well in combat. Let's see. He, basically, once she started seeing what she was rolling, she took it as an omen. Once she got her first taste of good combat, it was like she was kind of hooked on the adrenaline and the adventuring. One like one Prism before one Prism was like one of the final two characters she was like had up to. The other one would have been a paladin of a betrayer god, which would have been interesting. Like, yeah, he worked the betrayer god, but they're also but they're facing people who are against all gods. So technically, they'd be on the same side for this, trying to stop it. Sort of like who was the final guest character on campaign one? Uh, the champion of Tiamat. Like, good chance they may still end up being betraying them, like he did, like with that epic stealing of the hand of Vecna. Still a legendary today, but apparently she didn't want to be just like one of the great picture. She was just trying to. She asked Matt which betrayer god would be the most stupidest one to be evil for. Like who? Which one was the most stupid? And he suggested Vesh, the bloody siren. And and who has like I it's described as blood orgies. Like basically, she have like a mass group of hearts and basically do it with all of them and stuff. But then she'd kill all but one, and that would be her mate for a while. And I kind of remember this because I specifically remembered Vesh, the name Vesh, and like that was Cash's. They mentioned it here too, but I did remember it was Cash's quote unquote wife, like his not patron. He was a cleric too. But yeah, at some point, I want one of the campaigns to face off against her. And Amia's kind of like the fact that the person gets so excited after doing something kind of violent stuff. And Mercer talked about how the 149 points of damage uh, Prison got with her Steel Wind Strike. She was able to get all three targets, and two of them were crits. Had critical damage, so that's why like top 10 like most damage done in a move. Okay, hang on. Not missing anything. My things well, I think one thing they did discuss is wait they is well actually hang on. William talked about like the last two games before the party was separated, or like Bell's house was separated. Well, it being insane. Basically, Matt was been waiting like 7 long years to bring everyone to table. Like they have like for like two of the players had 3 generations of characters all on the same board, and he's been having this plan of with Rudis for a long time. Like there's been videos about him doing cosmic horror and stuff. Like people knew he was going Rudis be a big part at some point during Critical Role's lifetime. They were all like within 100 feet. It was like shocking to just suddenly have like all the only have half the regular party there, and now these suddenly new guest characters. Hmm. Oh, they also mentioned how because his name was Bordor's last name was Dogson, everyone thought he was just a polymorph to Border Collie. I bet you even now some fans still think he is a border. They pointed out like Liam even pointed out how like he was kind of to have everyone stay and watch it his reigns and stuff to see if they turned back into a dog or something. He specifically he did mention how basically this night and he said like talked about whether or not he and Matt talked about whether or not Bordo should be disguised or something. Like his more supposed to be a disguise, but it sort of was, but not so much as like he was just acting, like not actually just disguised. Where was I? Also, Matt did not want to have Christian art for an entirely new character. And they mentioned how Bodor being really a border collie isn't that far fetched. They once had a duck on the show. And I believe that was for I forget if that duck appears in the was in the main campaign. I know it's in like the Darrington Brigade. Uh, uh, uh. Um. Oh, Utkarsh. Sorry, I was thinking something. Utkarsh kind of also was able to play sort of the meta too. He knew that they knew he was a new character, a new player, so next year, so he can play off some any mistakes and stuff, and little thing as as him just getting out of the game, and didn't think that as a new player he'd be playing a character who's trying to betray them all the time, secretly trying to betray them. Like he pulled it off so well. There were many hits and stuff too, but the way he played it off, he was able to play off as just simple and innocent. And the first thing he did when the mid party was attack him with a lightning spell, but he was able to play off like I've never done anything like that before. Like saying he didn't know he has powers as they think. Like he was, and he was just praying for like during the battles, like certain low rolls and stuff, so that basically help keep the guys as like a simple person. Oh, then they start talking about like how great it was when they just like they first introduced their character. Each guest introduced their, like the fantastic description they got. She's like being like pushing her femininity and male dominated sphere. I was like, that's great. Though I was like, that's great. I'm kind of curious what that sphere is though, because the only thing we know like she might be doing while hints of what she might character does for living is like she might be a hairstylist. That's a pretty gender equal, if not leaning toward women. Emily is an improviser, sir. It's a and there. Oh yes, here's one thing. Originally, when they're trying to figure out what characters they played, the guests like originally even once considered coming in as triplets. Though only two would actually been identical. It would have been cool, but not fit quite the tone. Like you don't want to destroy the tension too much. They talk about some like the differences between Team Wildmount and Team Isilra. One thing, at one point during Team Wildmount, there was a threesome. While Team Isilra murdered someone in a 6-inch puddle and stole his immovable rod. Oh yes, they talk about what Marisha's personal feelings like when finishing off Mordor. She did. They already touched on this a little, but she didn't want to do it. But I was trying to think of what would be realistic, like how Law would act, and trying to also go to her mental state. She's separated from Imogen, like in most of the party. Okay, they've had other people say them before. And well, so stuff. So she would do that, and also Mercer knew that by casting Hunger of Shadows, it would probably involve somehow Delilah's return, or at least strengthening her hold on Ladna, which would kind of sort of start undoing like the sacrifices made from when Belsa's managed to lock her up in that spirit plane thing. But you knew at this moment, Lana would be acting more feral and stuff, like just lashing out. It also know the irony, like while she was during this and losing control, of emotions and attacking and finishing off. In her mind, she was like for a second she felt like she was taking back control and stuff. And Matt mentioned and she told how Matt said that he started to see Lana as an allegory for struggles of addiction and stuff. I mean, they do once again reiterate what are kind of chances of this? And like, if Orm had been like trying to been trying to see the bigger picture and stuff, and just said, given a look that says it's not worth it or don't do it, to La, she probably would have let Border go, but no, he gave the nod and ashes to ashes. Uh, Basically, the second Orm found out that he was Ruby Vanguard, his fate was sealed. He's the enemy. Specifically part of an enemy group that killed Orm's father, his father, his husband, and his husband's son-in-law. Because as soon as everything came out, like it was like this is war. Oh, and they but mm, Utkarsh did say that Border almost did had a legitimate change of sides, and when the angel looked at pity and stuff, the only reason he didn't was kind of meta, and that was Utkarsh really wanted to cast Vitriolic Sphere on the party. Well, with that, we get into the Tower of Inquiry questions. These are the evergreen things that for any character. I actually myself recently submitted my own questions. Like even while watching this episode, I actually submitted one saying if Belsa's was ready to take on Delilah's other 7 warlocks. Because if you remember her Laudna's backstory, she was specifically the person chosen to represent hang on the tree as a representation of Vex. But the other members of Vox Machina also had a corresponding, including Trinket. Yeah. The only one who didn't go was Pike, who because Ashley was out. But they still had one for Tiberius. Not sure if they'll be even willing to bring that one out for it, but I still kind of hope they do, just for a number of reasons. But I also mentioned, like, as part of the question, a PS, don't, if you do face them, don't let it go down to individual duels, specifically with the ones who represent your Vox Machina character. Because with Laudna there, who represents Vex, that leaves Laura without a direct thing, which meant she would have probably had to fight Imogen fighting the Bearlock, Trinket's kind of one. Imogen is probably strong enough to take out the Bearlock. Laura emotionally cannot. Then they talk about what the characters do to relax in their system, and not just like on screen stuff there. They're also while picking up who would choose. Everyone's trying to choose someone else, and we're trying to, and I think it was I forget it was M. It was Emily or Amy, but one of them put out how Utkarsh was trying to volunteer someone for them, which we probably should get him there, but then Towser looks at it, no one's like a snitch. Goes, picks there, gets this one a number, what the hell was this number? 14, last, for, Ashton, apparently, it was the, WTFIUWT. What the frick is up with that in game? For a lot of it's just chilling around the fire, like hanging around the fire with the party and stuff, like talk. For autumn, it was the Briarden festival, which we have not seen because I have not seen because I did not watch Narrative Telephone. There's only so many obsessions I can have at once. For Emily's mentioned how like for Prism, at least, yeah. Liam did mention how he would have picked like his falling in love or the wedding or falling in love with Will or marrying him, but those were probably mentioned those for him. Those were probably nerve wracking, like really thinking. Prism probably basically for Prism. While there was she probably had a lot of fun during the Knives Ascension celebrations. That's more of excitement stuff. So her main thing was probably just reading a book. For Bodor, it was actually coming up with the Wind Cougar, like just snuggling up to that. Though he also mentioned he's also playing Peace and Death. And he mentions like he's playing Peace and Death and is probably back with his family now. Stuff. I was like, that's nice, but I would have agreed to. But then I found out about the farmer. Like D&D does have a reward and punishment based afterlife system. Sure, he was dealt a shitty hand like in this stuff, and that probably would affect, like give him some lenience. But like even if you dealt a shitty hand, you still played the way you did. He's still like going after them specifically because he said you killed my friends there and that stuff. You literally just after that just killed a farmer and stuff. And quite frankly, knowing you're willing to do that, it you could just tell that he's done some other shit for the Ruby Vanguard too. So he doesn't have really any moral justifications, in my opinion. They talk about how Nisa is probably like for her, it's more like just how like home life and stuff, like cooking food and stuff, like doing ordinary things for her. Like she enjoys the little things. Then they had 34, which this time did go to which since the first one went to the person who snitched, this time it went to the person they snitched on because he was doing something. And Kodosh spoke 34. And it explained like the differences in the characters you played, like and why you picked something. Risha pointed out how well Keyleth Keyleth had was this like destined to lead and stuff and trying to get that stuff and Keyleth was trying to like look for knowledge and stuff and try that. Her Lana comparatively is just someone who goes with the flow. Though they do point out like it seems like a wild stuff and they just and then George she says well, sometimes if you go with, they point out if you go with flow, sometimes you're going to hit rapid waters. It was sort of the same thing with Mordor for Utkarsh, though he is also hiding behind a mask, like just like play, like trying to get out of the situation, and if necessary, to and potentially take out some of these guys, as opposed to his character, the previous character, Hitch. I don't remember this guy. Towson likes playing characters who've gone through some emotional stuff and has that, and decided to go. And he thought, I've already done this a goth in Vax and a Carney kid in Mollymuck. This time he's going punk, and they talked about a previous like what does it mean to be punk in Exandria? Like punk is like fight the power stuff and being that type of angst. And so what does it mean? And then they have like the gods and stuff. Emily said prison more like type A pursuer. And it's more of a girlier character than what she's used to playing. In Dimension 20. And Mia and Amy, sorry, Amy, wanted to play someone more ambivalent about the gods and stuff, and this and situation. Oh, I'm not sure if they are. Nope, that comes up later. Don't. mm, Uh, Liam mentioned how Vax is this what's this fall his nose asshole like if they like see where things say. Caleb was this intense wizard who was trying to deal with his own shit. He specifically wanted Orm to be like a nice guy, like not the main character, like psychic or right hand man person, like kind like someone very different from even if he still has his own issues. And with that with only two tower inquiry questions there, they could move to the deep dive with the. I think some of the people were actually sharing a tankard. Uh, they Ashton is asked to explain like it tells us it's asked to explain Ashton's belief that the gods have judged them and just don't care, decided not to care. And he talk about how this feels about the god, because it's thoughts about the gods and Ludus' plans, and yeah, he says he kind of Ashton sort of sees Ludus' point, but uh, and he like as you say he's punk. He's like wanting someone to blame for it, like because you're like and people like looking blame. However, he also knows that like like you messed with my friends, my people. Oh, you effed up what me you effed up me and mine. Like basically, he knows that. Well, he knows Ludus is still going to be a problem for at least his friends and stuff. So gloves are off. They talked about Formia, whose character was the first one to confront Border that he wasn't being fully honest. What tipped what gave Border away about his shady things? And she said mentioned when the party scried on his brother and wasn't coming up with any good answers. Like she's a relatively new player to DD, so there could be some things too. But when they scried on his face and didn't see his brother like sick or tired, like even if he had died, he's buys there. Like why? Someone could have took it buried his body, but then why are we looking in seeing the house instead of the gravesite? And they supposed to live out in the buoys, like right in the woods on top of that mountain and stuff. The odds of in the short time he's been away, his brother not only dying but also someone could check out and burying him like just then, like all the way up and down. Fishing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And stuff like. Oh, they also asked like, what did end up asking what she ended up stealing? Like, what was it from Border? It's like Goes, yes. Basically, she stole his sling, which we didn't catch. But yeah, when she said she dropped his sling on her, and when he goes pick it up, that's when he put on the arm lock. Didn't even notice that, but yeah, that's what she took originally. Emily. And the next question was for Emily, and they want to know why they had Prism come from the quote unquote shadow realm, and what made it interesting location for her character's upbringing. She wanted to have a complicated past with religion and stuff like and apparently what really said it there was like that video of the Raven Queen, like taking Vax or speaking to Vax there, and she even included this had this thing about like prison had her own evil wizard plan and stuff like in that basically they sort of celebrate the base of Raven's there, but prison as a young kid was kind of like, okay, but you only kept this for yourself. Like you said, everyone is bound by death, but you yourself didn't allow yourself to be. And originally, she said the young prison's dream was to find all of the matron's notes about the ascension and just copy it all and pass it around to everyone there, and there'd be no death. And considering the shadow, her home's connection death, no more there. So didn't like where she was growing up. It's only after she got into public school and growing up a little bit that she realized, oh wait, that's a bad idea. But one thing, there's too many assholes to let everyone get godly powers. And basically, she doesn't worship the matron, but she does respect her. Then next question for Liam was, what was it like for Ormby to be at the tomb of Omadua, a member of the Gosh Drasari, who were the ancestors and forebearers of the Ashari, his people. And he pointed out, like, it's like, for him, it's like, how does the world, and this is something they even see now today, like, how the world gets so effed up like this. How come this, like, the Ashari end up breaking up, breaking down, and having to later reform as the Ashari? Everything makes more sense when you're younger and stuff, and as you start getting more into like, issues of the world, or you start wondering, I mean, how you get to what seems to be like world-ending phenomena. Next question was Marisha's. She asked how Lana reunited with Imogen, and so it kind of, and she described Lana as for Lana, it kind of feels weird. And she described it as your best friend goes on like a long summer vacation stuff, well, like summer camp or summer camp. Well, yours. Uh, uh. Well, you're stuck like doing like a summer job. And she sort of it's like this weird Dorothy moment, like they described like the moment Dorothy's about to leave and said, Scare. I think I'll miss. I think I'll leave you most of all. Like most of all, and like it's like being lonely. The others is like f you. Like this was actually a lot longer one. Because of this, like because they took silly examples. Like yeah, you were off. I was like working this job, like all the greasing the hair stuff. What you kiss about? You're no longer a virgin, like that sort of thing. Like real life examples. I strongly recommend you go watch that, at least that segment. Like, there's a link to the actual episode in the description, as always. Someone asking for final confirmation, just warning him to clarify where if border is a border collie, polymorph. He didn't really have any idea. He doesn't really confirm or deny it. So, he does think that if if Border like were to like come back or something, I guess maybe like reincarnate and stuff. He wants to come back like as a Great Dane or something like that. Then they enter a speed round. Start entering the speed round. Um, they tells us why Ashton seems so comfortable like protecting Lada and Prism like emotionally and stuff. Like protecting them comes so naturally. He said for Prism it's because it was I quote her first murder. That stuff changes you, and especially the first time you're not used to it. He wanted her to be swept. And for Lana, it was like there was no. He knows that there was really no stopping her, and knows that there would be consequence. This would affect her later on. Oh, then they referred to something that happened during the Reunited episode. When talking about why she said like why Prism felt that referred to Orm as her best friend, like why she felt Orm was more best friend because the other two seemed to have more connections with her. Like this was when he was trying to say, "I don't trust you with to be with to keep protect F.R.I.D.A and stuff," and says, "Well, I'm best friends with Orm now. Why over him over the rest group?" And Prison's reason was because it would be the funniest thing. Like, basically, she just wanted F.C.G to get off her back and stuff, and decided like, no, if this is more treated more like the shades, like you protect, I'll protect you. You can have my person. I'll protect this person if you protect this person. And she just chose like whoever she thought was the funniest. Like specifically, who would care the least about being here? Like Londa and Ashton all have more interactions there and stuff. And so when hearing that, is like, what the f? What the f in heck? Who'd be the most unexpected, basically? Who wouldn't care? Who would care at least that his name was the one chosen? Okay, Amy. What's like for interacting with Oran as someone who wasn't Opal? But knew he was still a crown keeper. It's saying it's interesting to see Orm's evolution. Like he's starting to go through a more of a rough patch right now. And was sort of like because he was more things and more grounded into it, started showing the the team lead role. Is now just one of the people trying to get comforted. He needs coverage. Denise doesn't really know about Opal. It's just but she also mentioned Denise probably feels like jealous of her because she's seen her picture on the one thing and and in a group with Derek, so she just immediately thinks, oh yeah, they're banging. Then they go back to the question goes back to Orm's little nod about for ending Mordor. Why he agreed to death when they could have, basically as soon as he realized he was not just a threat but member of the Vanguard, he would kill no matter what. They killed his husband, his father. Mm. And he also knew he had to be done. Like, if they let him live, there's a good chance he goes to George World War as a problem later and helps out. Even if he just gives information on them. And they also mentioned how Orm sort of slightly knew that this could be like letting Londa do this, be the one to finish it, could be like giving risking giving the lion an opening to come back. But that was part of the reason why he let her do it. With all the crazy shit going on and stuff, he thought maybe that's what we need. There. Then they talk about how Lana likely woke Delilah back up. And how's she handling her starting to turn back to the darkness? About she kind of has the same thing to Orm, like it might be a means to an end at this point. Like they might need Delilah's power to resolve things. And let's see. Oh God's sake! Stop talking that loudly. Anyway, Uk Ukar says was asked what was like playing the long game with Mordor, and knowing that he was, and I quote, an enemy in sheep herders' clothing. Stuff. And he mentioned that how it was nerve wracking, terrifying the whole time. Like it would never. He doesn't think he'll be able to play another like traitor character again. He has natural instinct to be more happy and stuff. Also, like I think they talk about it later, but keep going back to all the different hits and stuff, like not knowing what they were scrying on. So willing to kill an angel and stuff. The smoke. Oh, he mentioned the fact that he never seemed that concerned about the reindeer and stuff. Like he's like, he'll probably show back in town and stuff, and then they just forgot. The reason why he's so nonchalant is he doesn't give a f about that reindeer. It's someone else. It's the person he kills. Mm. Oh. Now back to the Tower of Inquiry. Mm. What was your character's favorite city? Is uh uh yeah Commercial Utkarsh Emily Anlium. It was Zephyra. Towson specifically said, "What I think Towson started it off by what the thing was saying. The one he said, the one I made. Yeah, I'll cheat. Basically, in Campaign One, Matt let him design Whitestone because it's so integral to his character's backstory, and so he knows it better. And Retro Store has the same thing with the it with with Zephyra. Actually, she specifically said like she also helped design the other Ashari places. So it was like either Pyra or Zephyra, and and Utkarsh basically said the same thing, like either Zephyra. But I think the way he's phrased it is like it's basically like I'm just copying her. And Liam says, well, Liam did well. They say it's listed here as Liam loving uh uh Extra. He's a little bit, but honestly, his favorite is Zephyra. And for Amy, it was Burden. I guess that was a fun telephone. Next tower inquiry, last one, mainly due, not sure due to time, but mainly due to the fact that Liam took out the tower. Tim right is finally collapses right into his face. I mean, literally it tilts on and he gets headbutted by the tower. You should, well, of course, that's the thumbnail. Okay, ask them if your character was on a deserted island. What three items would they likely have? Risha says that Lana would have her rock chisel, a red ribbon, and pate. Uh, Ukot mentioned border family. They were as in objects of affection, and they was so are you saying it's that taxidermy? Yeah, it goes yes, sir. Taxidermy. Emily specifically would want uh said that prison would want spell components for a self-replicating spell and stuff like something that allow her to create other spell components. So make other spell like maybe fabricate or something. Maybe not fabricate, but maybe for Amy says that for Denise it'd be a tuft of hair, specifically from Dariax, her cooking tools, and a bathing suit. I think cooking tools technically, since it's plural, is more than one object. Okay. For Liam, it'd be. I guess he instead for going for Orm, he goes for Caleb's thing. Though maybe Orm would also want it too. The components for the nine-sided tower spell, the beacon. And no, he's specifically going for Caleb, and a teleportation scroll. Cause he's the only one thinking. If I wasn't, I just want something that allowed me to just instantly get out of there if I wanted. But also, he mentioned that Ashton would bring booze, music, and He actually lists booze, music, and probably a book. Then he mentioned also a hole maybe to get stuff. Maybe just a hole instead to keep everything in. And then we enter break. No, I don't remember there being any new ads and stuff. Mm-hmm. Uh, so then they get after that they get into One Night Other Worlds, and this is a game I like D&D. It's a game I know how to play, but actually haven't played. But I've seen a lot of people play it, and it's kind of a little jarring because the way they play it was more about the role play, but like how they play D&D. It's more about how playing doing the role play than the actual game mechanics. Though didn't work out so well in this. Oh, also after break, Utkarsh is gone. I guess he had some business. They never explain why. They don't even acknowledge he's gone. And Danny's like playing, I guess instead, or is also the narrator as well as the player of the game. And as it goes on, it's more about them like feeling like what like characters do, like being a character in this, and like less about what role it is and who's lying. It's fun, but it's got a little annoying because like this way it wasn't even a close thing. I think first round they ended up voting. It was a tie between for voting out Liam and Emily, so they both got knocked out. Uh, which is interesting because Liam was the robber, but stole the seer role from Emily. So the thief and his victim were the ones picked, but they were both on the other side. So werewolves win that round. Uh, the wolves were Amy and Towson. Well, Danny and Marissa were the villagers. So anyway, victory for Wolf. Still the same chaos and stuff there. It and despite being his part of it, it, Liam Sicily had a commentary on this. Despite like during the first round, he was also one of the major people doing this.
Here, where's my dad? Why did my dad come and do something for me?
I can't believe that I came all the way here to tell you how I really feel.
Where's my dad?
And this is what's happening.
Son.
And what's your deal?
This is the fucking problem with actors. You're just supposed to be playing a fucking card game and they're trying to turn it into a Scorsese film.
Okay.
Get me out of this fucking loop.
I don't identify as an actor.
Are you sure?
Just a piece of shit.
Trash with a name. Or what was that?
Trash
with a name.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, they were more focused on role play stuff and trying to get the narrative. Like in the second round, it's like the first round they mentioned like we haven't seen your supposed ex-wife. Then one of them was saying I'm the ex-wife. Yeah, I tracked you down there. Stuff. I'm the lover. I'm the parent of the thing. I'm the parent of the other one. Stuff. It's like, what are your freaking roles? What village roles are you playing? What is your vocation in the game? Anyway, as it turned out, Liam ended up being a villager. Emily too. Danny and okay. Amy once again was a werewolf, accompanied by Danny. Hang on. And we never saw the other two cards. Liam got voted out for so another victory for the werewolves. And basically, they thank you for doing to this, as they call it, production of Our Town on acid and stuff. And they end the game with the traditional playing of the theme song, and the tavern keeper, in this case, Townsend, cleaning with Mappa and stuff, or cleaning. The only thing I really think he cleaned is I think he picked up one of the fallen Jenga blocks and stuff. There, as kept going, and then when the thing was you notice how everyone seems to freeze. Like you can very clearly see them slightly moving, but still trying to maintain the pose as he left and stuff. And then they had a legit freeze frame, and that's how the episode ends. I would have preferred it if they just tried to actually play that game actually more, because I do like these social things because of how I don't know how chaotic they can get. But even when actually playing, you don't need to have that much extra role playing to do. Anyway, all that's left is my homebrew, the forging hammer of restoring. Just like how they picked the ultimate werewolf for this, because for this review, they have werewolves and stuff too, and paranoia with the town and stuff. It works on stuff. I picked this because of the theme of the restoration of Bell's house as a full team. There, this counts as a light hammer. It's a +1 weapon. It's considered both a weapon, light hammer, and an artisan tool, smithing tool. It can also be general purpose tool, just nailing stuff. Then, constantly striking a item or substance that is rusted, rotted, or otherwise corroded with this hammer will cause it to revert back to its non-corroded state. Not sure if you can actually accomplish this just with a mending spell too. If so, I guess that's up to your DM. What the limitation meant. This one specifically has that. However, you could also use it while casting spell mending, and it channels that. And both the corrosion restoration time as well as the casting time of mending is cut in half. Proficiency with light hammers will allow you to add your proficiency bonus to attack rolls for any attack made with it. And with that, I bid you adieu. Well, I thank you for joining me. This is F.R.I.D.A, and I wish thee good fortune on the quest of life.